Hello, everybody. We are back with another the back-to-back casts coming in clutch, and we've got Lightspeed Noah, aka L2, against Onslaught, aka Old School. I think that's what they used to be called. But yeah, this is going to be a really interesting D4 match, and I have the privilege to be casting with Saturn today. Adam.
Oh, hello everybody. What's up?
It's good to cast with you again, man.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
Yeah, and I'm really happy to bring you this match today in D4. I think these are two very interesting teams to watch because they're relatively, I would say, well, L2's not new per se, but they've been entering the public eye more recently. There's been a lot of attention thrown into L's way. They've definitely been heralded as the fastest improving team, or like as the best example of an improving team, and I think that definitely shows. Old School, more of a recent formation. It was created by Jordan, who since left the team, and there have been a lot of changes since the team's inception, and the lineup today is very different from the one in the past. So yeah, it's interesting to see how the Old School lineup of Onslaught compares to the current MKPS roster, but yeah, that's what we are hoping to see today. We're hoping to see Onslaught prove themselves to be as strong as they were originally, and Lightspeed Noah to prove that they can basically match up to any team in this D4 roster, I think. Onslaught is currently in third place with 1 win and 1 loss, and Lightspeed Noah is sitting at a 4th place. Looking at the end of chart, Canadian Jonah is donning the division right now with a 43-point average. That's pretty huge.
Jesus,
yeah, what a monster. I think he'll be very crucial for them. I think they want him to be up there as much as possible. Going down the list, we can see KevGamer03 and Nyx on the side of L Noah, both with very good averages, around 33 points. And then further down the list, we see Shix, also known as Norway, Old School player, still pretty good today, with a 30-point average. And yeah, going down the list, we see the likes of KA and Rush, also very important players, rounding up to about a 30-point average a piece. And yeah, that was quite a mouthful. Yeah,
that's quite for that long, man. That's impressive.
Yeah. Looking at the matches, we see that Onslaught managed to win versus AP Sapphire, actually, which is quite impressive.
Yeah,
AP Oh, for sure. AP has gotten a hell of a lot stronger in this last year, I would say. They have expanded enough to have a 3rd team in this competition, even.
It's ridiculous. It's so crazy. Getting a 3rd team for MKPS.
Yeah. However, Onslaught slightly losing by a little bit to AC, and if you know who AC is, you know that they're not actually our teammates. They're more of a CT team that branched out into RTs last year. And since last year, their roster has actually gotten quite a bit of upgrades. Looking at Dylan up there in 2nd place with the 37 indiv. So yeah, very interesting games here for OS. On the side of El Noah, they managed to beat AP by over 100, but they also dropped a game to MV, which MV, they've been touted as the strongest team of this division, so no surprise there. So, you could say that the results are looking more in El Noah's favor, but yeah, I don't know, man. Let's look at the lineups to see if we can get a better picture of what to expect from this match, I guess.
Yeah, so Lightspeed Noah have Jedediah, Kev Gamer, Nyx, Rush Wheel and K, and Old School have Jonah, Eirik, Hibbard, Lonnie, and Winter.
So, you want to start with your thoughts on the lineup, or should I?
Yeah, I'll go into the L2 lineup a bit here. So, yeah, these guys are really strong for D4, honestly, now that I'm looking at it. These guys have been playing together for a pretty long time now. I'd say they were playing together before Lightspeed was even created, so they've definitely got the chemistry to go far in this division, I would say. Kev Gamer are rapidly improving. driver and just player in general. He's he used to get, you know, a bit memed in Mogi Lounge, that hard stuck bronze player. But he's improved. He's fast. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to play wars now, especially, which is really important. So I'd say he'll be their most important player going forward with the season. Next, old-time player, great guy. Yeah, he's definitely going to be getting those consistent 90s, I'd say. Rush Wheel, a man who just, you know, he's been around for a long time, and he's definitely up to the skill caliber of D4. Maybe not someone that stands out as much in the lineup, but yeah, he's a great player, to be fair. And what are your thoughts on the Onslaught lineup?
So, starting with Onslaught first, I think that the 4 players that we have as runners today, Jonah, Ira, Hibbert, Lonnie, are forming a very interesting core. I actually haven't seen them play too much, so I don't know how they gel together, but it seems like from some of these results, they actually have decent chemistry. And, you know, I think Jonah will be the undisputed runner for the team. They're going to try and put him in the best positions possible to just break away and run, because, you know, just solely on paper, looking at this, I think Jonah is the fastest runner, the smartest player, the most experienced player, just the whole package really for OS. So I think they're going to want him up there. Next, we have Hibbert, who is probably going to match up very well against like Cav and Rush, potentially. I think he's going to be... Yeah, Hibbert does have a bit of a reputation as a Mogi, but, you know, he's I feel like he's come into his own since joining this team as a good war player as well. You know, communication-wise, driving-wise. Whenever he's given the opportunity, I feel like he does pretty decent, and I would like to see him match up against Cav and Rush, you know, in those mid spots, maybe potentially even taking over some of the top spots. I do see him as a capable runner. Next, we have Lonnie. Lonnie, same story as Hibbert, although Lonnie, I would say, is a bit more consistent, a bit more collected, in terms of mentality and stuff. So Lonnie, definitely another good player. Don't sleep on him. And then last, we have Eirik, who is an old school player. He does make a few mistakes sometimes, but his intellect and his item usage, I feel like, bring him up to the standard of some of these other players, because, you know, Eirik's long tenure as a Marikobi player definitely levels out the some of the skill gap he might have in the driving department. So yeah, that's what I think about this OS roster. On the bagging side, actually, we have Winter, and I don't know who'll be bagging for L. Probably KA, right?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, Winter and KA, I'm not sure what that matchup will look like, but I do know that Winter's been bagging a lot, and he's gotten quite a bit better at it. And if I were to favor anyone in this match, I would probably favor KA, but I think Winter can definitely get a few shocks. I would probably say the shock count would be 70% KA and like 30% Winter, somewhere in that ballpark. But yeah, I think that, you know, 30% of shocks can definitely come in handy for OS no matter what. I think they can
starting up, boys.
Make some great shot calls. Okay.
Who do you think's gonna win? Real quick, predictions. Just throw them out.
I gotta go with Lightspeed too. I gotta go for it, man.
Okay.
I have to say Lightspeed 2 as well by like 30, let's say. All right, first race starting. This is RBC. L off to an early lead in top 2. Jonah getting the drift in the wrong way. Gets a mushroom first box. That's not really what he was wanting. Although it does get a draft, and looks like L is in an early top 2 for now. So, one of L actually getting redded out already. This puts OS at a really good position at 2, 3, 4, 5. Jonah actually hitting the thwomp. That's not faster, bro. Come on,
Powerhouse of the division.
Powerhouse of the division. Leaps and bounds ahead of anyone on paper. And, you know, off to not a very strong start, but he does get rewarded, you could say, with a start in 7th.
You love to see it.
Jed gets fibbed on the other POV, just out of his golden there.
Oh.
Yep, and actually Jed taking a beating, getting back greened all the way behind first, dropping him to an 8th place. Hibbert pulling a TC. He could probably pass it to Jonah, but he just wants to, I guess, tank the TC. Jonah not really predicting the
oh my god,
the back green there, does go down to it, but forced to use a star, catches up to the pack, nothing serious. It
I think
looks
it was definitely a smart decision not to pass that TC then, but then he just ran onto that green and spammed his star. So
yeah, but pretty much hitting that back green
TC.
completely annihilated any benefit of just tanking that TC. So
Yeah.
sure. Nick's pulling another TC in the mid pack here, and there's a target out called onto Jonah. That's gonna set him back a little bit. Oh, actually, it set him back a lot. Didn't react accordingly, and now the spots are all mixed up. One of the baggers probably already has shock at this point because we do see them being quite far separated. Let's see if we can piece together this race. So OS currently in 3-4. Jet pulling a blue but holding it, which indicates that L might be holding on first here. So I think L is like top 2-5 right now, and them having this blue is pretty big because
I swear that red just went straight through that green channel. What was that?
Yeah, I don't really know. Okay, going back to the front here, we see Jonah in 5th, just cruising. He's really just going to want to try and break into the top 2 that L is currently wielding with an iron grip here. They have to hit them because the blue's not coming, and if the shock is any indication... oh, actually, Jonah does pull a Mega, and he does actually activate it, which I think might be an indication that they're gearing up for a target shock.
I was thinking maybe they were preparing for Eric to cancel TC there.
Maybe. Or they were predicting an L shock. And the shock actually does come through here, but we actually don't have context as to what happened, so we unfortunately can't tell you whose shock that was. Probably was L's to get them into boxes and get rid of the blue. Yep.
Yeah, next dodge too.
Yeah, so that's a guaranteed top 2 for L race 1. Played that pretty well, I have to say. The blue pull was pretty big, but even though they pulled blue and they had also shock, they managed to stand their ground at the top 2 and not concede any ground on them, basically. So yeah, winning race for L, race 1, pretty good position, although nothing detrimental for OS. There are a lot of tracks you can pick. Everything is still available on the map tool. Don't have to worry too much. And OS actually getting 3, 4, 5. That's a pretty good compensation.
That's not bad. Yeah, Jonah was definitely showing signs of a player who's not playing since the last MKPS match in that first race. I'm sure he'll shake it off going forward, but yeah, we'll hopefully not see any more of that lap 1 performance anymore. Jonah, come on.
True. And actually, a bit of trivia. Jonah, in the last MKP season, was part of a team called Galvanize, which was essentially a ragtag group of top players who sandbagged Division 6. So yeah, he didn't get a lot of playtime last season, or at least not as much quality playtime as he would have liked, I bet. And so he might be a bit rusty, his skills might not be as sharpened as they usually are, but that's fine. So OS opting for a GV pick. This is always good if the other team gets top 2 because he'd reset them quite a bit. And L wants to force the issue with Goldmine. They want to advance their momentum in those top spots that they've accrued. However, we're going to be going to GV for a reset pick.
Yeah, good pick from Onslaught here. They can maybe try and get some shrooms in those 3, 4, 5 possessions. And hopefully that second place does not pull the Royal Susu.
Oh yeah, the coveted single trim in second. Yeah. Alright. Off to a very standard start, although we do have a TC for spot, which is kind of unfortunate. Jonah also could pass this. Yep. Actually, that triple red pull was quite good, and actually does pass off the TC triple punch.
Yeah, that was actually really good that he got the TC there, because I think he received it from his teammate, so that was really nice that he got those triple reds to back it up as well.
Yep, so OS in 2, 3, 5 right now. None of them are taking wrong except for Jonah here, and that does put Jonah at a second place. Jet on the other POV does fill a rock, which is quite funny. So that puts OS at a very commanding top 2 at the beginning of the race.
Oh, one of the baggers just failed the backwards strat. Who was that? It was, this OS bagger. Winter.
Oh, damn. So that's going to put L at a very advantageous position to pull the shock. Jonah does pull that coveted single trim in second, so we could see him take a rock here, unless L already has shock, which is a...
I don't think they have it. Or he's going forward. No, Winter's going forward, so Winter has it 9th, I think.
Winter might have she's in 9th. Yeah. And Jonah actually does fail the rock, but it doesn't look like it set him back too much because it looks like other members either went for rock and failed it or just did respawn. So Nyx actually does get up here, breaks into 2nd place, and from now on he just wants to backspam Jonah, just deny him any sort of breakaway.
I think he's shooting there to get away from that red, so.
Yep, and actually Jonah taking a random green to the face, I think that was his teammates. So OS in 145 right now, and actually Jonah does pull a Mega. They could TS them if they go for cut here. This could be a really good area denial play by OS. And actually all of L going into respawn, they could call them all out. Yes, but I don't think any of OS are taking cut. This is bad.
What happened to Jonah? He had Mega and then we switched back.
He got Mega himself, and then he tried to take that. You know that little shroom cut where you cut off some time after? Yeah, he failed that one. Now he's dead A's.
Yeah, so I think he was getting 7th right there either way, and it's just unfortunate he got squashed when he had that Mega. If he chained it, tried to get shrooms, it would have been.
So by the looks of it, it looks like OS did manage to hold on to top 2. Other spots, I'm not quite sure. It could be some variation of a bottom 3 occupation. So OS did manage to. Oh, actually, quite different from what I initially expected. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5 for L, right?
Yeah, that was really good from L to not get a losing race there while OS had the shock. The circumstances really didn't favor Onslaught there, but. They really needed to try and get some shrooms and take advantage of that shock that they had, but
that was a really weird situation where they did have all the pieces, but they didn't have the calls. I feel like that was one of those frivolous moments where you are just trying to coordinate something and then you get lost in the heat of the moment and it passes you by. So OS definitely misplayed. OS definitely kind of threw away the race in a sense, but also. L just kind of played that really well. They were never out of the question fully. Hibbard was the only one that was broken away the entire race because he took Rock Lap 1. And yeah, Nyx obviously really good for him to manage to break into 2nd and set Jonah back a little bit. And I feel like that made the difference in the end, just keeping the type very condensed.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to show that this Lightspeed team, they've been playing together for a long time, a lot longer than Onslaught have, and their communication is going to be better because of that. So
it definitely does seem like they know their way out of a sticky situation most of the time. Definitely a better intuition on average. And we are on our 3rd race, which is JCN Waluigi Stadium. Jed going for an 8th place box. Quite an interesting, actually not that interesting of a pick. I was going to say, we do see this quite a lot when we personally in IF play L. They quite love this track. I think they have a lot of experience on this track because they have some very good runners. Namely, Kev Gamer is very fond of this track. And L actually getting into an early top 3. But it doesn't look that secure right now, as we do see some members of OS quite close by. So, Jonah and Hibbard hot on the heels of this top 3. However, doesn't look like they'll be breaking it without any kind of shrooms or a blue. So, one of the backers actually took Jonah's box. That was quite niche, if I do say so myself.
Winter is in 10th right now, and everybody fell off, so Winter has a huge break in 10th here, and they're really going to need the shot, because a top 3 is...
and actually, by the looks of it, they could pull another one if they pull it right here. They could do a TS lap 2 on that top 2, as it is slipping further away out of reach of OS. And, if this shock does come through, if this TS does come through in OS, they have plenty of opportunity to pull a second one. So, let's go. Moment of truth. Top 2 crossing now. Jet keeping his distance in case the shock did come, but nothing just yet.
Oh, wait, that's Rush. That's Rush in 10th, actually. So, wait, what am I saying?
I don't know. Rush is a runner, bro. Rush is a runner, bro.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Quite a bit of
Hibbard gets up there.
Hibbard, huge play, getting a back bump onto the L player right there. Rush still keeping first, but this is much different than the situation we saw last lap. Last lap, it was a pretty set in stone top 2 for L, but now it looks like 2-3 is being occupied by OS. Rush driving into the dirt. I'm not quite sure if that was a control malfunction or what, but there's no target shot to be seen, and OS are going to finish off in 1-3. to finish up the race, we actually do see a shock that.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yep.
I was not expecting that. I was confused myself for some reason, thinking Rush W was going backwards. I don't know what happened there, but then Hibbard just came in at nowhere with a bomb and just absolutely ended their dreams. I don't know how he got up there. He must have just chained triple shrooms into a bomb or something. I don't even know.
Quite a confusing situation behind the casting desk as we are going to see the results here. 1-3-5-6 for OS, and I think that was the best case scenario for them, really. Yeah. You know,
maybe they could have used that shock maybe a little bit earlier, even if they had 2 stars, because they were really close to getting Lonnie some more spots there. So, but it was good for them to get one race, and stop the momentum Lightspeed we're getting. It's going to be really close now going into race 4.
And I think good job by Winter, because he was really the catalyst. He was really the man of the hour with that shock. That turned everything around. And even though they could have gotten a second shock, potentially by TSing 1-2 on lap 2, I guess the play to play more conservatively and rely on Hibbert to break up the top spots kind of paid out for them. I guess. Yeah. It was the more safe option for sure.
I dropped the Mogi man on Hibbert at the start of this war, but he's probably been Onslaught's best player so far.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Kid knows how to hit people. I told you. He does have that team play component to him. And MT appearing for OS here. Quite a favorable situation for them because they do start 1-3 and third, just going in for the standard play of hopping into cut and pulling an 8 beside him. And 5-6 being really good starting spots for this as well. They could get some items that deny front presence from the mid spots that do pull shrooms. We do see Nyx drafting, and that might put this early lead by Jonah into jeopardy as he has to fight with Nyx now. And this is a very laggy battle. American versus European nearly hits the trail and just has to concede for now.
That was a really good job by Nyx there, because that is exactly the kind of situation Lightspeed did not want Jonah to be in, running in first place. But they did not let him in first place for long, and they want him back here in 5th place, pulling exactly what he just pulled PC. So.
Yep, and OS are all out of top spots. L has completely squeezed them out, and they're running away with top 3 now.
That's really impressive from Lightspeed there. It's going to be hard for Onslaught to come back into this race at this point.
Yep, and one of the baggers actually already at the boxes, quite significantly earlier than the others, so, Oh, we do see OS pulling Bill actually in the bottom spot. So maybe OS, potentially hypothetically having shock. If they do have it, they might have to use it early because they've already conceded so much. Yeah. Yep, they've already conceded so much ground to L, who are just cruising away in top 3. Still no sign of a catch-up movement started by OS.
Yeah, this pack is looking very detrimental to Onslaught right now.
Mm-hmm. I don't think actually the missing piece of the puzzle is here for L. Rush W is in a 4th place, rounding out the L top 4. And now they could just chill in this top 3 and just run it for the rest of the race. I don't think there's any chance that OS are going to break out of that bottom 3. At this point, they're way too far ahead to even consider slowing down, I think. And Jonah's just using Bill because he is so far behind that it's not really worth it. Jed probably getting TC'd. I don't know what that was. I don't think anyone else got shocked, so don't think that was a shock, but it was rather a TC. And he does have a bomb, although he's quite far away to make any impact with it. So going down to the top player POV, it's actually Irik and Jonah here in 2-4. They've actually managed to infiltrate the top spots. Yep. Although if L get 1-3-4 out of this might be this might still be good for them, Only one spot really dropped in that top 4 behemoth that they were holding on to. And 1-3-4-6, that wasn't that's not too far of it off a top 4.
Yeah, but honestly, if that was a TC, he really needs to be more careful there, because they were top 3 at the very least, with a really big break there. There was absolutely no need for him to be chaining boxes in 3rd there. I don't know why he would be doing that, but But yeah, that was really good for Eric and Jonah to get back into that race. You know, if he pulled like triple shrooms there and Fuff, that could have been 2-3, and the race would have been recovered. So, you know, keeping themselves to that reasonable margin going into GP2. They'll be hoping to maybe get Jonah up there a little bit more. 29 was a bit weak for him, but he's going to be hoping to get into that first place a lot more for sure.
So, DDR and Casey on either side of the battle. Looks like we're going to be going to DDR. Okay, so this is more of a favorable pick for L, I would say. This is kind of more common when you're 1-3 odd spots, so like 1-3-5-7.
Yeah.
And
Jonah's definitely going to fancy his chances here going second to maybe outline that first place.
Very well said. If there was ever a player to outline the other one, it would definitely be Jonah. And both players actually making
beautiful lines.
Sandhop quite early. And he does manage to sneak in a first place on his screen. However, it's kind of close, and he does actually muscle him out in the end and takes over this bit. So that's an early control for OS.
Wow. Clean.
Yep. And it looks like OS have the upper hand in the bagging department as well. Winter probably going a bit early to maybe switching up the bagging timing to confuse KA, catch him off guard possibly, but yeah. So Winter currently in 10th place. We don't know if he has shock yet, but actually one of OS did go down in that brief 10-second window, leaving L in 2-3. They actually, top 3 has a bit of a break for now from the rest of the pack, and you know, Jonah's still hanging on the first place. Not sure who has the blue currently. If one of his teammates are holding it, then he's probably good to run for that through the race. Because,
I think
you know,
KA might actually have the shock. KA might have the shock here because he went around the cut and Winter took the golden cut backwards. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see a little shock in 9th action here.
That turn, by the way, there's 3 nanas around that. Keep in mind that could very well put off Jonah if he doesn't keep that in mind.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm sure his team will call it out, but yeah.
Remind them of that, so yeah.
And now it gets really interesting because top 3 is very, very separated from the rest of the pack. So any shock that happens from here on out, is not going to have as much of an impact on the top spots. Jonah is actually quite far ahead of second. So if a shock threat does come through, it's not that likely to hit. So this shock might be tailored towards the bottom spots. Try and maximize the point gain for the race because 2-3 is pretty much secure. And actually, they do go for a shock into boxes on 2-3, pulling triple bananas. That's not really what they wanted. They wanted a red to get first out. And Jed with Jed likes to do a bit of trolling, a little bit of trolling. 2-3-4 for L looks like quite a decent shock. And yeah, that was just a pretty well played race for them. Nyx seems to be running out the formation with the 6th place, you know, potentially winning race for L. I'm pretty sure that was more favorable for them.
Yeah, 100% winning race. I was thinking maybe they could have. I don't know if a red would have. I probably would have got Jonah. Yeah, so it was probably worth it going for that shock. But yeah, maybe they should have just tried to get that 2-3. I know they got 2-3-4. Maybe they should have just tried to get next that 5th place if they could have. But obviously, we don't really know what the situation was there at the back, so it's still a winning race for Lightspeed. They'll definitely take that.
And this is what you want if you're Onslaught, right? I mean, you even mentioned that Jonah, you know, he's a very good player lines-wise, but, you know, a little bit rusty as he's not really playing too actively, as you mentioned, Saturn, that he played with Galvanized, didn't really get too much playing time. This is what you need from someone like Jonah, and he did a very good job in that race. Let's see if they can continue the momentum here.
Yeah, Jonah definitely holding the front that race. Exactly what they needed.
I've never Kev does not have bad lines at all. You know what I mean? Like he just made a very fast player look very slow, and that was extremely impressive. To be fair.
Well, we do see a bit of variety in these picks as L sticking to that gold mine pick that they were so confident in, but it's going to go the way of OS, who opt for MC3, a notorious luck track.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they could have went Coconut Mall, you know, favor Jonah a little bit more, but yeah, this definitely favors their bottom spots more than that 2-3-4 from now. So see what they pull first set.
Yep. So Jonah just charging ahead in first. Does back someone. I didn't quite see who that was with the Viv. Protecting his first place for now, although Jed does draft and get him out, so that's currently 1-3 for L early on.
That was a really good draft from Jed there. Get Jonah the first, by all means, at all costs.
Jed with an ambitious fib, although overshoots by quite a long shot. And Hibbert taking over first place, although L is here in 2-3. So they could
that's a nice green spot.
That is a very good green, much better snap time than the first one. And Hibbert's still going to hang on to first place. Nothing crazy. Although, I will say that this race is going to be defined more by the dodges than the plays in the front. So, yeah.
I think I might have shoot him first or something because he's not backing.
Oh, Jed just hit the dirt as he was trying to snipe Hibbert, and the snipe itself was way off too. So,
yeah. Jed, quite the not quite a sharpshooter, although the pack is very split at this point. So OS looks like they're occupying 2-4 right now, and the shock does come through, and not sure what the point of that shock was. It looked like it dodged some.
It did dodge Kev. It kind of reset the spots a little bit more than anything.
It did reset the spots, but that does mean that OS and L have equal opportunity now to snag some of the top tests. We do see Jonah pulling the golden, taking that golden to the front, and it does look like it's going to be a 1-3, 1-4?
1-3-4. Where'd the other guy go?
Probably 1-3-5. Probably 1-3-5.
Yeah.
And I want to mention, too, that was a really weird exchange. Loney hopped in the cut because he was hoping for shrooms or something. I don't know if I think he got a 5th or 6th place box. He hopped right in the cut. He was dead in the middle of the dirt, but then he ended up catching Jed, so it was kind of an even exchange there.
Lonnie with the 200 IQ foresight.
Indeed.
All right, let's see about these results. Yeah, that was a very weird slew of exchanges in the front. That shock did reset everybody, but also it wasn't favorable for anyone. It was very much a 50-50 shock. So, yeah, 1-3-5-7 for OS. Definitely a better race than I guess they wished for. I'm not sure whose shock that was. It could have been either team's.
I'm pretty sure it was Lightspeed because Jed sort of read just as they used it, and I don't know how it didn't hit Eric. It just kind of broke randomly, so that was pretty unfortunate for them that didn't get off. But yeah, I don't think the shock had the impact they hoped for. Maybe Kev tried to get he started chained to star in 8th place and got like triple shrooms or something, but
OS definitely with the salvage spots, 1-3-5-7. It wasn't a winning race by too much, which is playing into Al's hands a bit. They need to step up their game, But pretty good race regardless. And Mushroom Gorge is going to be.
Yes.
Oh, tell me about Mushroom Gorge, Dermo.
Mushroom Gorge is just never mind. I cry every time.
Oh man, we were so close, but in the end, it's going to be BC Wii, which definitely more of a OS favorable pick, I would say. 1-3 is just pretty good on this track.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting to see if anyone knows how they go for glitch on either of these teams.
Yeah, I don't think there's a days in either of these teams' lineups. So Jonah actually does lose first, it looks like, so L off to an early start in the front, but it actually looks like, okay, that was quite an interesting mix-up of spots. I'm quite far behind.
I think Jonah started in 3rd anyway, and Hibbert was the one that lost first.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, that was flashing the shooting issues there, just going straight into the next. It's like a top 2 from Lightspeed now. So.
Yeah, top 2 from Lightspeed for now. That was a very Jonah. Well, it's not irredeemable. So we do see the baggers just crossing now, which is weird because the usual timing for crossing is like 40 seconds, but it's 55 seconds out anyway. The baggers are going backwards. One of them is faking out the other bagger, indicating that shock is probably in play, and it does actually.
Onslaught shock. Target shocking Rush in 1st.
Yep, and Lonnie actually dodging, so that was good job on Winter for making it back first, and now he just has to. The onus is on Winter for pulling another shock. This shock helped them a little bit, but it wasn't anything game changing. As we do see Hibbert actually hitting a fire pillar there as well.
Somebody make clutch there or no? Wait, never mind.
Nope. It's a very tight pack. I don't blame you for getting a bit misled. So L currently in very sandwich spots. They're 2, 4, 5, 6. It looks like, and they just want to shroom in there and get as much in their faces as possible. As OS is defending 1-3 right now. Very chaotic. Kept throwing reds at Lonnie, trying to get him out there. Lonnie activating a Mega, and so does Jed. So if shock comes now, it's kind of going to be a neutral exchange.
Yeah, say both teams thinking maybe each other had it, but so that means...
getting out first, but Lonnie quick to replace him there. But the spots do favor L right now quite a bit as they're 2, 3, 4. Jed pulling triple greens, no one going for glitch. This is going to be very interesting. And the shock dodges Jonah. Winter pulling another big shot for OS. What a game changer. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Now OS is going to be top 2 for the time being, assuming there's no blue, and OS players in the back pulling those good items that are going to cure those supporting spots. Iric and Jed fighting for 5th place. In the end, it's
bottom 3. That's a top 3-5.
I'm pretty sure it is. Very well played race by OS.
That was all winter, man. That was all winter right there.
That was all winter for sure. Al was just dominating those front exchanges. Getting one person out of the front after another, and then just the shock just comes like a blessing from God.
Yeah, like Lightspeed were slowly outplaying Onslaught that entire race, but then both shocks just completely eliminated all the outplaying they did, and that was really well played from Winter. He used to play for Turtle Team, and he was a pretty terrible bagger, not gonna lie. But I played.
The flame live on stream.
I played with him recently, and he's improved so much, man. He doesn't complain about anything from what I've heard. Anyway, maybe he's just gotten more fortunate, but he's definitely improved as a bagger. He's rising the ranks for sure. It's gonna be
Winter
a great
definitely
bagger.
showing his prowess in this division, finding diamonds in the rough. Just one after another, especially in this race. Because those shocks did play a very important role in that BCW race, securing them a top 3-5. Quite a huge race. That's like plus 22, 25.
Yeah, that's gonna put Onslaught straight back into the lead, and that's the first time they take the lead all match. So all they have to do, they just gotta hold that lead now, man.
Yep, and looks like the last race of GP2 is going to be played on Rainbow Road.
Oh.
Did I miss something, or is this becoming more popular recently?
Yeah, this is a popular pick for top 3 now when BCW is not in the play anymore. So,
yep.
It's a bit of a dodgy one. Sometimes you just don't know what can happen.
Yep, it's very weird. Like the beginning of the race can get really, really flexible, but then after that, it's just after those first 30 seconds, it's all just boost panels and narrow straights and no shortcuts. So, yeah, Jonah very, very dicey driving in first. He could lose it here, but
I'm pretty sure he backed about 5 people in that front, thankfully. So
The early game exchange definitely comes in handy here, as L looked like they're 2-3, definitely menacing. Sights in Jonah's rear right now. Jed hot on his tail. He's gonna have to avoid Jonah's backspam for quite a bit, because if he does, looks like he's currently the only front presence for L right now. So if he does, that gives OS an early break, and that's exactly what L want to avoid here. Good snipe attempt, much closer than the ones we've seen on MC3.
Oh my!
He does actually play with fire there as he stares death right in the face with that risky maneuver. Backing a green. Yep. So it looks like OS, Jonah and First is picking up the pace, getting himself a bit of a break from Jet, whose driving is looking a bit shaky, but no intel on the spots behind just yet.
Looks like 3rd for Onslaught anyway. Yeah. So 1-3. I think Lightspeed are in 2-4. So it'll be interesting to see here. The baggers are going forward, so somebody has it. So we should see a lap 3 cannon dodge from. I would say that's a Lightspeed shock, because Onslaught wouldn't have went for it.
Yeah, and you have
Otherwise-
to wonder, where's the blue at this point, you know? Because we've been passing a lot of box sets, but there's no blue, which indicates that it's either not been pulled or is being held currently. So, yeah. You know, if L do have shock, that's a potential first place for them, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Oh no, Winter has it. Winter has it, I think, because Winter's and he must have got the box intent and just went straight forward, I think. So,
well, we do see Top being very, very separated from the rest of the pack. A target pow onto Jed doesn't do much, unfortunately, just squeaking it out, and OS are gearing up for a shock on 3, 4, 5, potentially.
Nah, it doesn't come out, so maybe we'll see a little Mega Dodge in the 5th or something coming up, maybe?
Yeah. But this shot could still turn the tide of the race, even though no one dodged. It's still in play, and potentially shock into boxes or shocking someone at the last set. Okay, so blue was definitely being held by OS, and yep, it looks like 1-3 guaranteed for OS.
Yeah,
yep.
To be fair, Rainbow Road is a very, you don't see it everywhere, but it is. Oh my god!
1, 3, 4, 6. That shock would definitely play into their hands, and Johan with the 55 points.
That's more like it. Yeah. Rainbow Road gives extremely entertaining. It's extremely entertaining for the cast, I have to say. It's a scary one. Watching Jed, just trying to avoid all that back spam, on the brink of death multiple times, and
yeah.
He did a good job to avoid all that back spam for 3 laps. And that is no easy task against a player like Jonah. So, well played to him for keeping that top spot.
It definitely seemed like he was walking the tightrope more than once that race, for sure. It was getting a bit of anxiety, just watching it from the back seat over here. But yeah, really, really good race for OS, and I feel like they've come into their own. They've found their element, and now it looks like they're gearing towards a comeback, I would say.
Yeah, that's not only a comeback, but they're probably like 15 ahead now at the very least. Yeah, 20 ahead. Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yep, and now it's Noah who are sweating. They're plotting their revenge. How are they going to come back from this? OS has been so strong these last 2-3 races.
That's so cool. Oh, 777 VR except for K.
Oh my god. The squad.
What a strange coincidence.
What a strange coincidence, huh? Well, looks like they're just going to go for the standard KC pick. And actually, DKS for the side of L, I think definitely a good pick. They've shown to be very strong on this. In an earlier cast, L1 versus AV that we broadcasted an hour ago, they've definitely shown to be very, very competent on it. They've broken away in top 4, just all of them taking double, no complications, just running that race like a boss. But it will be KC instead, and this is a much more neutral option. Nothing crazy. It's going to depend on these first few boxes over here. If they pull strings, they can just break away, either team. And
Jonah just powered himself in the first place again. This guy's a menace.
Jonah, the CEO of Mario Kart Wii, currently in first place, but he's about to be passed by Jed as he does pull a good item, golden, propelling him to an early first place, and then
Jonah tried the shroomless, failed.
Yeah, unfortunate. Giving Jed a bit of a break. This is quite sizable, Jonah having no item can't throw a red at him or anything, so Jed going to be keeping that first place for a while. And actually, it looks like a star was dropped for him. No, it looks like it was just shrooms actually. Pow getting Jonah in a very sticky spot, making sure that he's not able to take cut. OS in 2-3. And as I said, they really regret it, putting L at 1-3-4.
Well, this is the kind of situation big players are made for right here, just in between multiple Lightspeed players. He's gonna have to. Oh, okay, that's not what he's supposed to do.
Not taking very favorable lines here, as he is the only player up here for OS right now. However, this pack is really close, and it could swing at any moment, depending on who pulls a blue or who pulls a shotgun. Lonnie does shroom ahead, or doing shroomless, as he's trailing an item, and I'm not really sure. But yeah, this puts them at a better position than they were a second ago when they were scrambling for top spots. So 2-3 for OS, actually managing to backrun them, which is really good. Although first place is still quite a ways ahead. I'm not sure how they're going to compensate for the distance on first.
Somebody, Winter has shock as well, so...
Yep, Winter has shock currently being chased by the L bagger, who's KA, and will we see a shock here first set, or will we wait for a better option, potentially?
Oh, this bagging battle is going to be really tight. I mean, Winter has a lot of maneuvering to do here.
Yeah, Winter currently being chased in the pipe, and there's a lot of lasers in that section, you know, so...
They're kind of waiting again, so maybe he already got snapped.
Yeah, maybe shock has been lost, and maybe someone else pulled it, and now KA is going forward. Maybe he pulled it himself, and... yeah, Winter kind of stuck in the pipe. I'm not sure what's happening. Did we just see a blunder from Winter?
Maybe.
Let's see, going into the last stretch of this race. Jonah could get first. He actually does take the cut and steals first away from Jet.
That was a KA shock, so they just completely mistimed it.
Yeah, completely mistimed it. And actually benefited OS as they sneak into 134.
Wow,
that's rough. That's rough. That's just
that's a bad shock from Lightspeed there. I guess they were panicking. They didn't know what to do. First got target paid. Yeah, Onslaught played that really good, man. That pay call was beautiful from Jonah, and he somehow managed to slither his way through cut before he got caught. So yeah, that was a really impressive top three. That's a Jed still got second. I saw top three. Well played.
1-3-4-6. Nevertheless, a very, very strong race for OS. Exactly what they need to further their lead and to feel a little bit more secure going to these last three races. Now the onus is on L to bring this match back into a more exciting state.
That was a really weird bagging exchange, though, because we did see Winter go forward, but I never saw him spin out once.
Yeah, that's really weird. Because it wasn't a star, so
yeah,
super strange.
I'm thinking that I'm not sure, honestly. It was either some major mind games or something. I'm not entirely sure.
some Jaggy type mind game.
Yeah,
he never had that one. You know what I'm saying?
What was going on? Okay.
And now OS pulling the Uno reverse card. OS is now going for DKS, trying to potentially taunt L on their own track pick. But we do see Mushroom Gorge, a much more exciting option on the other end.
We all know what we want to see. We want to see some absolute Mushroom Gorge here, please. Please. I want to see it. Yes!
And it is Mushroom Gorge. We're going to be going to potentially the most dynamic track in the game. Well, aside from Luigi Circuit or something like that, but you know.
The best track in the game.
Yep. And what I love about the track is that there's a good balance between RNG and skill. You know, there's a skill component in the terms of gap, and there's an RNG component in the terms of, you know, dodging, and pretty much everything else about this track. So, yeah. Trading places in the top spots. Jonah fibbing Jed, but he reds him in return, so Eirik is going to be holding on to first place for the time being. This leaves Jonah in a really good position to pull a Mega, and he might want to schlag them a bit here with the Mega so they can't do gap early on, because it looks like L being 1-3, they probably don't have shrooms, and you know, if Jonah had stop Mega them there, he could have avoided the possibility of them taking shrooms. Oh, Jed's so close to falling off. But he survives, and now L is looking like top four for L.
With two shrooms and four.
Over.
Rush should maybe drop that.
This is a prime bomb spot coming up here on the way down. No, he throws it on the way up. That's not what you want.
Completely misses. How underwhelming. But he does have a POW, and this POW coming as early as it did is actually pretty good because it annihilates the possibility of him having any kind of shrooms going forward. The race still not over. Bagger's going backwards still. Jonah pulling a golden. He could pass his TC realistically.
Oh, Hibber fails.
That's massive. Top three. Oh, that's a bottom three break. Honestly, this could be a massive race for Lightspeed.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Onslaught right now. But they do pull a blue, and shock is in play. So one of the baggers billing. That's a clear sign that someone is holding shock for now. Nick's getting blued. Jed holding onto a shroom in second.
Oh, is he gonna survive that? Okay, that's survive. Who has FK has the shock? This is gonna be a massive race. Yeah, KA does have the shock, so this is a nice, comfortable gap.
Yeah.
And Jonah gets TS.
Top 2 for L.
Yeah, okay, that's really good. That's unfortunate. Kev got target shocked as well, but they had to do it to stop. I'm assuming Lonnie and Eric from taking the cup there. So that's the race they needed, man. They needed that.
So by first looks, it wasn't terrible for OS, but I'm gonna have to wait for the results screen to pop up and
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's that might be a top 3, maybe top 2, 4.
Yep, but
close.
you know, OS has been leading by 33 points before this race, so they can afford to take a bit of a bad race, but they can only take one. They can't falter any longer. They can't have a bad race from here on out. This is all or nothing. We're getting into the serious territory, and let's see what track we're going to be playing to decide this match.
Sorry, what spots did they get there? I didn't see.
Top 3-8.
Then top 3-8. Okay, that's good. Plus 19, so they could go for a little.
Oof.
What do you even go for top 3? No Rainbow Road, no BCW. Wario's Goldmine, maybe.
You could go Warriors Goldmine. You could still go something like Jungle Parkway. I don't know, but yeah. OS still 14, 15 points ahead.
Moonview, I forgot about Moonview. Of course, that gets picked. We go from the best track to the worst track. Moonview gets picked. Yeah, best to worst, of course.
Yeah.
There we go.
Very advantageous starting position for Lightspeed Noah, although Onslaught not completely locked out the race. You know, they could still pull some shrooms in the beginning if L doesn't take extra care and steal all the boxes, and if they do pull shrooms, that is prime territory for them to take over first and run the race. So, Jonah starting in 8th, burns there. Not sure if that was intentional or not. He could pull the bill here in 8th, and that could be a huge help for Winter. So yeah, Iric getting cancelled, not literally, metaphorically, not going to be taking over any of those top spots soon. And actually, it does look like Kev pulled a shroom instead. So yeah, top 3 still commencing for L. They're still hanging on to it. They've managed to do pretty well. Although if OS pull any good items, they're still in it, and Jonah actually holding onto a star. And and there's a blue as well. Jonah unfortunately starring Winter, it looks like, but does come up here into 2-3 and instantly gets that is just unfortunate. Take it away, Dermo. I need a second to process that one.
that is brutal. I've had that happen to me a fair few times on Moonview Highway, and I'm never very happy about it. I'm usually slapping the
Jed getting caught off guard by all the cars, doesn't know the car patterns, gets blued again. Punished. Completely deserved, in my opinion.
Deserved. Fair enough.
Deserved, and looks like L are still in top 2 right now, so it's not like much change for them, but you gotta wonder when is your shot coming, because OS is in a dodge, and so is L, and we still see no signs of shock. Yep, and
that was OS that got hit by
yeah, this is gonna be potentially some combination of a box that's OS. Although it looks like Figure is in 1-4, so if they do get 1-4-6, potentially, this might not be that bad of a race. That might cushion the blow of these L top spots here. Does pull shrooms to get him to the line. Maybe Sill's 3rd. I don't know. We're going to have to see the instant replay on that one. And actually looks like Iric did squeak into 6th after all. This is 1-3-6. This is not that bad.
Yeah.
They actually managed to do it again. They managed to soften the blow of the race. How are they doing this?
Was that 2 blues coming out on Lightspeed there? That's...
Yeah, I think that was minimum 2 blues for Lightspeed that race. Very unfortunate, but did swing the momentum of the race around in an interesting fashion, so I'm not complaining.
Hebert must have done something to get the last guy the first there, because I'm pretty sure they were still first after that 2nd blue. So,
okay, 1-3-6-8 for OS, hanging on by the skin of their teeth for this last race. The jury's still out on who the winner of this match was going to be, so hang tight for the decider race of this match.
I would love to see a BC3 coming out from Lightspeed here. I think if you want something massive to happen, BC3 is the track to go, in my opinion. if you need like a top 3 or something like
exactly like Roy said, BC3 is the home for huge races, and it seems they're thinking about it. It seems they're scrolling through some of the cups, looking at some of these track names, racking their brains, seeing what the best possible option is, and it is BC3. Ooh.
Just sign me up for Lightspeed right now, please.
Oh, it looks like we're going all the way. All 10 players on the same wavelength. Oh, even the dog's
excited. Yeah. Let's go.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Oh, okay. Onslaught looks like they're leading by 19 going to the last race. This is still very doable. Even if they get top 3-8, Lightspeed can tie, and if they get potentially better than that, they can win. So let's see if the dream comes true for Lightspeed this race.
Yeah, my dog really wants to see Lightspeed make this comeback. So he's coming out to the seats.
Yep. Okay. So OS just starting in 1-3. They're not gonna try any crazy shenanigans. They're probably gonna want to try and sit on Ultra and also block Cut. So L has the least amount of chances of doing anything that might favor them. Cut is blocked, and currently no one unblocking it. Jonah failing Ultra, but that should be okay for now. Cut getting unblocked. One of L taking it, but failing. I'm not quite sure what that was. Unfortunately, both of our streamers are back here now, so 6-7 for L, which indicates that some of these top spots are more in the favor of OS right now.
I thought I saw Loney's name flash up for a split second in first, so it's at least first right now for OS.
Yep, and actually him getting TC.
Oh, it's Eirik, actually.
Oh, that was Cam.
Jed getting back greened. Let's see who the bagger making it for first is. It's actually K, so this is much better for L.
It's a top 2 for OS.
Yeah, top 2 for OS, but actually this shock, if it comes here, if it comes lap 2, it could still change the tide of the race significantly. And if there's another one, it looks like a winning race for L. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
That's a clutch from Rush.
On the present, Jonah taking cut, joining his teammates in the top spots, 2, 3, 4 for us right now. Really, really good position for them, as 4th is broken away from 5th by quite a bit.
Yeah, he's going forward there, so that's the Lightspeed shock.
Yep. Time is money for OS right now, and they are going to try and waste as much of their time as possible, as their top 3 right now looking very good. And they just want to delay the inevitable as much as possible. They want to prepare for another episode of
Jet has a mega though. Jet has a mega.
And the shot comes through. I'm not quite sure what that was like. Okay, dodging Jet actually runs into a ground green. Oh no!
I couldn't see it either. That was really.
Oh, that's so clutch from Jonah.
Very well played from Jonah. Although he will be taking cut here, Jed, with the shrooms that he pulled after the shot. So
yeah, this is a 3v1 now, unless
this is a 3v1 in the front. They have to pull a last-second blue shell here if they want to win this race. Jed in the front, smothered by 2 OS members. He pulls the shroom, but I don't think it's going to do as much as he wanted to.
Oh, blue!
But they get blood on the line.
Loney's safe though.
I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, it's not enough.
They're gonna have to wait for the results here. And oh my god, what a dynamic race that was. I don't think the shock did as much of an impact as they would have liked. Well, not only because Jed ran into triple greens, but also they just had no other dodges. They were shocking into the set there.
That was so unfortunate about that green, because him being in the mega actually blocked the green from his screen, so you couldn't like actually see the green. I don't know what it was, yeah, but he just that was really unfortunate. I don't think they would have won anyway, to be fair.
1-3-4-7 for OS. Yeah. That's curtains for this match. Very, very well played from both teams. OS definitely coming out on top, in my opinion, in the way that they handled some of these situations. You know, the shot calls have been a bit better, and also I guess they did a better job of just keeping things even and just always staying in the race.
Yeah, Onslaught did a fantastic job in this match, especially, you know, being down by over 20 after GP1. They did not hesitate to just come straight back into that match, and by the end of GP2, they were looking really comfortable. They were looking like the better team, to be honest.
For sure.
Yeah, really well played to them. And you know what? Hibbard, I'm seriously impressed. I think he was even though Jonah, he was scoring the big points. Hibbard, he was up in first, and the races they needed somebody up there, So
GV notably made that rock
for sure. Yeah, because that's big. That's big. Having that one person up there is just so important in this game because. That 2-3-4 from Lightspeed on GV can so quickly turn into a top 3 if Hubbard makes mistakes. So really well played to him. He was the MVP for me. Not points wise, but play wise, he was the best.
There's always more to the story. Behind the scenes, like what the atmosphere is like in the call, who's making the calls, who's kind of keeping the composure of the team, and I feel like Hibbard would definitely be a catalyst for that. But if I were to give a breakdown of some of these, of this war, I would definitely say OS played better man for man. I definitely think that individually they played better than the Lightspeed players, and I think that it's kind of hard to choose an MVP, right? Because I think they all played really well. But if I were to highlight anyone's performance, it would be Jonah. Just always being in the top spots, no matter what, and. We did see a bit of rust in GP1, but it just, GP2 was completely gone, and we saw the side of Jonah that we're used to seeing. Just a monster on the sticks. Just undisputed god of D4.
Yeah, and let's not forget as well that BCW performance from Winter. That they were 20 behind at that stage going into race 7, I think. And those 2 shocks absolutely carried them through that race. I think they got top 3-5, and that was the biggest race of the war.
Yeah. Winter defying expectations completely. I said that K would be pulling 70% of the shocks, and it definitely felt way more like a 50-50, And another thing is that OS's shocks have been much more effective, even if they were equally numbered between both teams. OS shocks were much more effective at getting them the win, because if we go back to KC, right, and we consider that Winter lost shock and K pulled it, that was essentially a Lightspeed shock that was more beneficial for OS. That's just that's just a testament to what really sealed the deal in this match, I feel like. So for me, the biggest takeaway is that Noah still need to work on their shocks a bit. I don't know. I feel like their calls could be strengthened, but nevertheless, it was a competitive match. I'm very, very excited to have been casting this one with Dermo and Jaggy. I'm Saturn, signing off. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later.
Yeah, that was a fun one. See ya, boys.